Is it time for you to give a state of the team address here? I mean, after 5 games, what have you guys learned about each other, about the team as a whole?
Learned that we're really good, but we need to be able to put up more points, really. State of the team, I don't think I need to speak to the defense. They've been doing a terrific job so far. I really just need to focus on the offense and more specifically the offensive line. We put up 17 points last week against an FCS team. Now, granted, Delaware's a very good team. A lot of respect for them. They played their hearts out, but that shouldn't happen. So, now it's just really focusing on my unit, my group specifically, and then making sure we put up more points.
What do you think was the problem? You put up 17 against Delaware.
Just the little things. Like, if you watch every play, it's usually one guy making one mistake. And, talking about the offensive side of the ball, if one guy makes a mistake, majority of the time the play's disrupted and it's over. So that's why it's just, every guy has to, lock into the play and do their job for every single play. Sorry, my bad. That messed that up. Just focus on the little things. One guy does one little thing wrong, the whole play can go bad. So
is it a product of young guys who haven't played much before this year?
It could be, but I don't believe so. No, I mean, we just have to pay attention more in practice. More urgency, more emphasis, more doing little things right.
Speaking of young guys, how do you feel Nick and his confidence level with the offense?
Great. I think he's very confident. I had all the confidence going in. I thought I didn't know whether Kenny would be playing or not. I think he was iffy right before, and then he told me right at CQ before the game, he's like, "Get ready for Nick." He said he's going, and I was fine. I didn't think he batted an eye, and I didn't think the O-line or anybody else in the huddle was, nervous or anxious that Nick was in. He practices well, and he was very confident in the huddle, so I was ready to roll with him.
I was going to ask him, what is he like in the huddle?
He's good. He doesn't mess up the plays when coach gives him in. He commands respect in the huddle. It's good. It's fine.
Is the running game where you want it to be?
No, nowhere close.
What can you guys do to make it better? Because I feel like a lot of people are just, is it the running backs, is it the offensive line, is it the scheme that
I think it's inclusive of all of us. The O-line majority. We'll take big responsibility for that. That's all on us. But then also the running backs and tight ends too. But like I said to Jerry's question, it's just the little things. If we're running outside zone to the right, we have to make sure our backside tackle takes a proper footwork to cut him off. I have to make sure I have my proper head placement. If I have a backside head placement and I get penetration up the front, it's causing an automatic cutback. And it's all those little things. All 5 of us, and then if the tight end's in the play, he has to do his job. So it's just making sure we're one cohesive unit, and we just haven't put that on film yet.
You guys making all those little mistakes, do you find yourself putting them in a little extra time, like in the practice field, like trying to sharpen those skills up?
Yeah, and more specifically in the film room too. I've had a lot more guys talk to me about watching more film, which is good. It makes me feel confident too. That guys on this team care, especially in the O-line room. Guys care a lot.
Are those mistakes difficult to change?
No, they're not. There's little mistakes that everybody goes through. We went through them last year. Went through them my freshman year. It's just we don't have much time left. So we're getting into week 6, and it's ACC play.
Do you feel that pass protection has improved since week 1 when you said, I think Kenny had been hurried like 14 times or something like that?
14 pressures against UVA. Yeah, it has. I think it has. And that's all credit to Borbs and then the O-line too. But like I said, the O-line, we got a room of guys that care a lot about this team, and we take pride in our work. And so, yeah, I do think it has improved.
The pass protection seems to be ahead of the run blocking at this point for you guys. Isn't usually the pass protection the toughest thing to do as an offensive lineman?
It all depends. Every week depends who you're going against, what kind of pass protection. If it's a 3-step drop back, you just jump a guy, that's easy. Or if it's depends what kind of run play it is also. So it changes every week, varies against who you're going against.
In general, though, isn't run blocking what you guys like to do more than pass block?
I like whatever scores points. I'll do whatever.
Because I think guys in the past, the big guys in the past, they just like to be road graders, pass blocking needs a little more finesse.
I think it's just as frustrating for a D lineman when they get blocked and they can't get to the quarterback too. I understand that aspect, imposing your will on the defensive lineman, burying him in the ground, but it's also nice when you get a couple pass plays in a row and you just hold them at the line of scrimmage and they can't get past you. That's also very demeaning for them.
Jimmy, they haven't come out with a ton of points Duke hasn't over the last few weeks. What stands out when you're watching film of them?
They're experienced. They're very experienced. Coach Borb said this is probably the best Duke defense he's seen, and I agree with him. Since I played them twice, this is the best Duke defense in the past 3 years. They're experienced. They're very, they're mature. I read up the other day when I was reading on the scouting report, 3 of their defensive linemen have over 1,000 snaps in college football, and that's a lot of snaps for a defensive line, especially how much they get rotated. We just have to make sure we're gap sound. They're gap sound. We have to make sure we're we have our assignments right, and we just do our job. And I think we'll be okay. But they're experienced; they don't make many mistakes. They've been around the block.
You know, Jimmy, having faced a ton of D linemen over the course of your career, where does experience typically show itself in a game when you're going up against these guys?
In D
like,
linemen?
Yeah.
You can tell when you're going against a younger guy. You can trick them to a little bit. I feel like with certain things, and you know, experienced D linemen, I tend to find they don't exert excess energy when they don't have to, and you know, they're ready to come back every play. With younger guys, I feel like you can kind of tire them out a little, get them out of the game, maybe get in their head. Experienced guys, you know, they've been through it. They don't, you know, if it's a pass going completely opposite, it's just quick. You know, they don't need to run all the way out. Obviously, like our defense line coaches will teach that, but they're smarter. They're a lot smarter. They're more savvy and more technically sound also.
You mentioned a second ago that you do some reading up on dude. Do you do a lot of reading up on the opponent beyond whatever video you can watch?
I try to, yeah.
What kind of things do you look for?
Specifically, I look at the guys that I'm playing against. So 95, I know he came out of the game. What I'm looking for, 95, he came out of the game against Virginia Tech, so I was just looking to see if he's going to play or not. I expect him to be in the game. He's a really good player. Played against him the past couple times. Really more film study also, just like what their favorite moves are, and that a lot of times comes on Wednesday, so that'll be tonight when I watch individual film. And early on in the week, it'll just be an overall defense.
Did you watch the game Friday night on TV at all?
I did. I watched a little bit of it.
Was that, did you get a sense for? Can you
Yeah,
get a
they're,
sense?
like I said, they're a good, experienced, mature defense. They don't make mistakes. They don't give up many points. So I played against their front four, and they're good. I don't know what else to say there. I'm excited to play. It's always been a good matchup, and I'm looking forward to it.
Anything else for Jimmy? All right, thank you for your